What up guys, it's Ethan here with Complete Producer. Today we are breaking down how the #1 song in the world was made. I'm talking about Peaches by Justin Bieber featuring Daniel Caesar and Giveon. This track did not take too long to remake because there's only a few elements, and to me it seems like the producers did a really good job utilizing this less is more concept, meaning it's usually better to have a few really good elements than a bunch of mediocre ones. Anyway, let's get into Ableton. Alright, now we have the session open. There's basically only 4 elements, just drums, bass, this whirly sound, and a guitar. First things first, let me just play everything together for you really quick. It's such a simple track. Let's get into the drums really quick. The pattern is really simple, but the thing that makes these drums cool is some of these elements aren't perfectly lined up with the grid. Like for instance, this snare right here. You can see on the grid where it should be, which is like right here, but it's moved over a little bit, and this kind of gives the song a cool swing or a groove. Now to me in the original recording, it sounds like maybe somebody played it on a drum machine to get a really cool human feel. That's a great way for using samples to kind of make your song feel more like it was played by a real human versus just lining everything up on the grid. All right, so the drum pattern is super simple. Pretty much just does that the whole time. There's this open hi-hat here. I love it when producers do stuff that's a little bit off the grid because it makes a super simple pattern like this actually really interesting. All right, that's enough for the drums. Next up, we have the bass part. Keep in mind, this bass part is super simple as well. Every one of these parts in this song is extraordinarily simple, but the song that's written over it is such a gratifying and cool melody, and the lyrics are so catchy and memorable that the song's just a knockout. All right, let me show you the bass part really quick. There's this cool little fill that comes in. Now, the bass part changes a couple times in the song, but it's pretty much this simple pattern for the whole thing. Next up, let's get to this whirly noise, because that's the first noise you hear in the original song. When I heard this noise, I tried to break it down in my brain. I was thinking, how in the world did they make that sound? It's this cool, kind of spaced out, mid-range instrument. And then I thought, it kind of sounds like a whirly that's been placed pretty far back in the room. So what I did was I used a preset in Serum from my friends at Singular Sounds called Key Future Whirly. This is what the preset looks like on Splice. And then what I did was I put it in an ambient medium room. So without the reverb, it sounds like this. You know, nothing too special, but when you put a reverb on it like this and you place it back in the room and back in the mix, it adds kind of a cool je ne sais quoi, something you can't really put your finger on, but you know that it's a little bit different. There's a little sauce on the instrument. So that's the whirly noise. Within the context of the whole mix, it's actually pretty far back. All these instruments in this mix are really making room for the vocal. And especially when you have 3 incredible vocalists like there are on this track, you don't want instruments competing for that space. You just want to leave room for the vocalist to shine. All right, last but not least, we have the Daniel Caesar type guitar. Let's listen to it. And that's the last element for the instrumental. Next up would be the vocals, and I was playing around putting some different acapellas on it, but at the end of the day, the vocal for the original track is just incredible, and I didn't even want to try to re-sing it. That's too good. Now, when you have a track like this with only 4 elements, if you take any of them out, it makes such a big difference. Like if we take the guitar out, it just feels like something's missing. If we take the whirly out, it's better, but there's still this kind of like ambient thing that's missing. This song is basically a puzzle made out of 4 pieces. And if you take out any of those pieces, you have a huge portion of the puzzle that's missing. The producers of this were genius in the way they fit everything together and packaged up like a perfect production for the vocals and the song itself. Okay, so for those of you who have stuck around, I have something really special for you. I'm going to provide a link in my description for you to be able to download these stems so that you're able to mute certain elements and pull things apart. Maybe you want to use a drum pattern like this or use the guitar part, and you can even write your own song over it. So go ahead and go to the description of the video and you can download the stems there. Also, my channel is kind of still a baby, so it would really help if you subscribed, especially if you like learning about how music is made and getting free content like stems and samples and stuff. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.